Right now, you've been watching President Trump take reporter questions while hosting oil company executives at the White House, the most powerful people on earth, as he described it. He's going to go now negotiate a deal with these geniuses. He talked about a number of topics, from securing a deal with Greenland to the importance of keeping China and Russia's influence out of Venezuela. With nearly 40% of the world's oil production under the umbrella of the Don Roe Doctrine, what are the next steps for the U.S. oil industry? Joining me here in Dallas is Executive Director of the Ralph Lowe Energy Institute at TCU, Nikki Morris. Nikki, thanks for being with us here today. I listened to that, as did you.
Yeah.
It was interesting in that President Trump said he's now going to go back and work on a deal with these most powerful men on earth, with these geniuses. But I did hear some skepticism from the CEO of Exxon, from the CEO of ConocoPhillips. I did hear some skepticism on their eagerness to jump back into Venezuela.
Yeah, and I think to start broad, based on since they're just very recent comments, is we're just at the starting line of this very long-term race. And I would say what Darren Woods was referring to is, as he mentioned, they've been there since the 1940s, and it hasn't gone well. Why go in and stub your toe again without the reassurance of the U.S. government to say that this is going to happen and they're going to give their investors the returns they need? They have assets all over the globe. Why Venezuela? So yes, we all need more resources, and so that's great to have the conversation, but I mean, they aren't going to jump in without all the check boxes, and I think the same with Conoco. I mean, they even mentioned it. They have a huge debt. They never got their money back.
Yeah.
And so with Trump saying, hey, this is a clean slate, we're starting from zero, makes it really hard for these guys to take back to their shareholders and investors that this is a good business decision and capital allocation in the next few years, because there's a lot of upfront capital that's going to be spent before you're ever going to see revenues from that produced oil. ConocoPhillips
said they'd lost $18 billion in confiscations in Venezuela. The CEO, Darren Woods, as you mentioned, of Exxon, said since the 1970s, he's seen his property taken by the Venezuelan government on 3 separate occasions. So you do understand their hesitation to jump back into Venezuela. As you point out, they have other proven reserves in Guyana or in Mozambique. But the president, on the other hand, clearly wants them invested in Venezuela. 40% of the world's oil supply. We called it the Don Roe Doctrine. That's a play off the Monroe Doctrine of controlling the Western Hemisphere. What do you think it means for the United States to have influence over 40% of the world's oil reserves?
Yeah, I think it's a good, again, I think we're on the starting line. But what's going to happen is a lot of contractual agreements to take place that not only the U.S. government can support, and so we can confirm the security of wherever the revenues and those dollars then flow after the production, but for the corporate investors. And so for the banks or whoever's going to give this money, billions of dollars, Chevron, Exxon will need to review all the contracts with the government of Venezuela. It's called a production sharing contract. And this is what's already in place to produce the current production, because we don't own it. We're not the mineral owners in Venezuela. Like in the States, in Texas, we have individual mineral owners who own the rights below the ground. In Venezuela, that all goes to the government. So there's a lot of work. So the first step, it sounds like they've taken, you get the president out, the corruption, it starts there. And then you start working through not only the government, but PDVSA, the state oil company, to reconfigure so that we can secure that everything is produced in a proper manner.
It sounds like those contracts need to be prepared to be rewritten. Contracts, by the way, as you pointed out to me, that do include the Chinese Communist Party as equity holders in some of those mineral rights in Venezuela. I do think you start with those contracts. All right. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thanks for being with us here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Hey, it's Will Cain. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Cain podcast for full episodes right now.